You in a good spot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this one, we'll start here, right? So this is the flat collar. The flat collar is probably the worst collar. It's the one that we use all the time. And so some of the things that people use the flat collars for, right? We use it to put the tags on them. And then people will throw a lead on it, right? The problem with the flat collar is that all of the, if you come up here, right here, look, you can see right there. So when you're pulling on this, all of the pressure comes right up here on her front of her throat. And so the flat collar is really good for things like, we might use it to tie her up to something, right? So if I needed to go in a store, this could be something that a flat collar could be useful for, right? To hold her in place. Some of these, sometimes they have what they call a martingale strap, where martingale would be something like this, where it has a section that tightens up as it gets pulled, right? And the pieces come together. And we know that from our like blockhead dogs, like Rottweilers and Cane Corsos and those jack dogs. They have big necks and little heads, so when people tie them up, the collar can just slip off the head, which it can off of our dogs too, right? A little harder. And so, Jade, you might be asking, why do I use this collar? Right? Because I don't use this collar for any reason. Griz, come here. When you see me put this collar on her, the reason I put this collar on her is 100% all I use this for is when I'm doing tracking with her. And the reason I do use this one is because when we're tracking with these longer leads, the leash will go under her legs and back this way. And so as she pulls and gets into it, instead of pulling on her throat, right here, right, it pulls on the top of her neck. And all that's doing is pulling her head down closer to the ground. So when I track on this, if she goes too fast, it will just pull her nose closer to the ground. And so that's why I use this for footstep tracking, right? Other than that, this is not super useful. The other thing that you know about that some people can use it for is when they're lazy and they don't want to train their dogs, is we do that thunder leash, no pull technique, where we wrap it around here, okay? So the problem with this is there's no real good training with this, but it does stop the pulling, as you know, immediately, okay? So that's this collar. The Denali's collar, flat collar, this one's a little wider. It's just for aesthetics. It would be nicer on her throat than the other one, and it's prettier, but it doesn't do anything different. They still suck. This one you made. Grace, come here. And so these ones, I can't find the one that you made for her specifically, but these ones are nice because it cinches up, this little slip collar. So we can kind of use it for corrections now. So heel, and it doubles as a bit of a leash, right? So these ones are better because when it tightens up and we pull on it, it doesn't put all the pressure on her throat. As it comes in, it tightens up around her whole head. For the best use of these ones, we want them up here by the ears. And so as she pulls, it'll start to choke her a little bit. And that's why some people call them chokers, other people call them slip collars. So that's that one, okay? We have one more flat collar to talk about, which is this one. This is the agitation collar. Griz, come here. This one, actually, I can show you, sit, is different than the other ones because it is meant for her to pull on her throat right here, right? So we have a wider surface area with padding that collapses inward. So when she yanks against this material, it gives a little bit. So it's less likely to damage her throat. So when I put this one on her, the idea here, they call these agitation collars, is because we want to get her agitated and frustrated so that as she pulls again. Come here, Griz. So to show you what I mean by that, I'm gonna tie her up here real quick. Griz, come. And grab treat for her. You start to get her excited. She can pull against it, and it's not going to hurt her throat. So come on, come on. Yeah. Easy. Works a little bit better on the carpet. Sit. Come. Okay. Good girl. Yes. So that's just so that she can pull on this and it doesn't hurt her. Okay. We can have the handle on it, and that can work there. So there's that one. This is the one that I need to talk about with Dad. This is the pinch collar, the Hermspranger, right? So this one has this button in the middle of it to take it off and put it on. We have these links for sizing it. So they call it a pinch collar because you pinch these links together, and then you can take a link out, put a link back in. Okay, so this one is quite a bit more difficult to talk about. So Griz, come here. When we put these ones on her, Griz, no, out, sit. These ones go in front of all of the other collars. We put them up here around the neck. It's got this martingale portion on it here. So as this comes in, it creates a biting sensation on her. And so I like to have it, we want it to be able to spin freely. And see this one spinning, it's a little rough, which is why I had that other link in there to make it a little easier to spin, because she doesn't need such heavy corrections. So if it's too tight, it won't spin, and it becomes very sensitive. It creates the bite at an earlier mark. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put this one back on real quick, and we'll have mismatching links. Trying to do this so the camera can see. There it goes. And then right here. The other thing to think about these for my dad and Wyatt is that if these are too loose, Griz, come here. If they're too loose, I like it nice and tight so that it can spin and we can pull it. I can pull this tight and you can see that it starts to get, it still has some room to go before it's biting into her. But if it's too loose and the dog's got in a fight, you can see there's some space in here. So if two of these got hooked together, you'd probably be in for a pretty bad day. So for other people that had two dogs running this, you'd want these as tight as you can go to where they can still spin. The other thing about this is we have two rings here. So we have a live ring, which affects the martingale, and then we have a dead ring. So when we want to walk around when we don't want the biting effect, we can choose to attach it to both rings. And what that does is it prevents the martingale from tightening up. It now acts like a flat collar. I don't really ever use it this way. If I would probably just use another collar if I had it, but if for some reason like you were going to track and this is all you brought, so I might use this and then let this go underneath for the tracking. Okay. As far as the corrections go, Chris, come here. Feel. They're not super heavy, so when I practice with her with the heeling, right? So I'll get a good grip in my hand, not that loose stuff, but nice good grip. I'll be like, sit, just little ones like this, okay? Heel, sit. And that's all it takes. And so, what's a way to see what you're feeling here? What I like to do is I put it around my leg. And then you can kind of get an idea of the feeling that you're going to get when you yank on it. So you can just kind of if you give it a nice tight yank, you'll realize that your idea that these are going to go into her skin and pierce it and cause lots of harm is ridiculous. All this does is it's simulating like a mother wolf bite, you know? So as this comes in, it tightens around here, and this creates a biting effect around the neck. It's actually safer than these. A lot of times I keep this short little leash on here. You've seen this on there, and this is just so I put this on here for like emergency purposes. So when I'm walking and I need to deal with something quick, I can give her a quick, come on. And that's what that one's for, okay? Now to get on to what we were talking about earlier, we have the e-collars, okay? So for you and I, red is Griz, okay? Red is Griz, black is Denali. We have the stims are here. This is the stimulation, and these are the vibrates. So this vibrates here, this one vibrates here. We can change these to tones if we wanted to. And our electric pressure, when we push this button, you see the red light, how it stays on? It stays on until I let go. So for Griz, if you're listening to me, Jane, for Griz, she starts to feel it at about 10. So if I'm doing healing training with her, I can put this in at a 10 and I can hold the button on her, okay? If you want to hold your wrist out, can you put your wrist out? I promise you can't feel anything. Look. So you feel nothing there, but she can notice it. So when I'm doing healing work with her and she gets out of correction, we do it at this real low one. So she just knows that she needs to make some small adjustments. When I'm out at Mayberry or something, I'll put it at about a 15. And from here, I can feel it. There's a little tingling. It's not a big deal. If you want to do it again, you can. Okay. Not a big deal, but you can feel it now, right? She can feel it earlier. So when we're in a low stimulation environment, I'll set this to 15. When I go,
she can feel that?
Yeah. When I go out to Palmer's Park, I stick this at a 30. And now it's pretty uncomfortable, and I don't really like doing it anymore, and we won't make you do it. So if the consensus is that more stimulating the environment is, the more that you're the harder it's gonna be, the less sensitive she's gonna feel. And so if she takes off after a rabbit or something, right, I might hold this button and then start to crank this number up as we go. And you can see the light is on, and I'll wait until we get her to stop, or she starts vocalizing in some way that she's gonna quit, and then I bring her back and I lay her down. And we lay down for about 10 seconds. And this will be off when she's down. As soon as she stops doing it, we let go, we make her down, and we let her reset. Denali, on the other hand, we don't really need to go over like a 10 with her. If we do, it's on accident. She's very, very sensitive. She doesn't need anything.
I didn't feel the 10 at all.
Most of the time with Denali, I'll just use the vibration effect, which is really good with Denali because you don't have to have perfect contacts. And she's so nervous about these things that you could just vibrate it. Now, when we go to put these on, we have a couple of different ways that we put it on. So first off, if it's nighttime, okay, you hold, I think it's the P and, no, it's the on and off and the side buttons. So at nighttime, if I'm gonna have Denali wear it, this has got to be super loose if you want to use the flashlights for both dogs. You cannot use the electricity and the lights together. So keep that in mind. So if you want lights, you lose this. If you have it tight enough to where you can use it, you won't be able to see anything. If you can see light, it's too loose. Griz, come here. All right, for putting these on, let me show you how I would do this. Sit, come here, sit. So I used to teach you up here at the top of the neck. This is where the Michael Ellis videos tell you to put it because it's the most sensitive. So Michael Ellis videos would tell you to push this fur out of the way and take the contacts and put them up here at the top. The problem I found is when you put it up here, the collars move, especially when they scratch them. What I've started doing is I put it lower here, right here at the hardest part for Griz. You see how, remember you and I had this conversation about her neck going two different directions? That's right where we do it. Grace, 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 sit. Sit. I know, it's a lot to ask without a reward, huh? So I'll take it and I'll move some fur out of the way. And I just want to make sure I get contact information, contact with the skin. Once it's there, I use one hand and hold it. The other hand comes over onto the other side here. And we start to put this in one, can you see it over here? One-handed, I stick this through. Once it's a little tight, I can let go with my right hand over here. This will stay place. And I'll take this and I'll put it, all 4 fingers behind here. The reason I put all 4 fingers behind her neck is so I can pull this as tight as I can go. I go as tight as I can go, but my 4 fingers are back here. And so I could almost make it to this one, but I couldn't quite. So my 4 fingers are here, and that's how I get it so that it's the same tightness every time. So now, when she goes to scratch, this doesn't move, and it is the same tension every single time. And so the stimulation effect works the exact same every single time. And that's the important part. Denali! Come here, girl. Denali! Come here. Come here. Come here. I'll give you a treat. Come here. Sit. Come here, girl. Sit. So Denali is actually a lot easier to put on because where I put her collar, her fur goes the same direction. So I can just start to fold this out of the way. I get a connection point here and a point here, hold it. My other hand just comes back here and I just slip it down. Put this in a loop because if you don't loop this one, it is too long and she will step on it. And when she steps on it, it's uncomfortable and it moves this collar around. So that's all we have to do. The light, I can show you real quick while we have it on her. Denali, heel. You can see, this light will not help you. You might be able to might help you find her, but it will not help you see in the dark. So when we want to see in the dark, we loosen this bad puppy up. I drop it down here, and now when she walks with me, she's a walking flashlight. That's how we do the e-collars. To turn them off, I go here, and that's it for that. I'm going to talk to you real quick about these other things. So the harness here, this harness is for the search and rescue guys at the moment. I told you I like to track on the collars because I like their neck to pull down. They want their dogs on harnesses. Harnesses make it easy for the dog to pull, no chance of them choking, but what it also does is it tells the dog that we're gonna go do some tracking. So we only put this on when we're gonna do tracking. So this particular harness goes on over the head and then the body cinches second. And if I put this on Griz and we walk outside, she'll start looking for her track that she's looking for because that's the only thing that we use this for. You could use it in place of the agitation collar. Anytime you wanted to use the agitation collar, wherever I set that at, right here, that works, okay? Almost done, love. Last thing, the foods, okay? We have two treats that I buy, usually, okay? Usually I buy something that is easy to see and has a good smell. So this stuff is really what I use for. I use this for tracking and for sometimes Denali really loves treats, so I'll use these. These are more expensive, but they have a higher value for the dogs. But most importantly, I can see these in the grass. So when I'm setting tracks, I can see when the dog walks over them, and they have enough of a smell to where Griz can walk by one, smell it, and then backtrack to the next footstep. This yes. Hard to demonstrate the the food drive when you have this one and this one. This food, on the other hand, is cheap. This is what we should be using most of the time for treats. We get this at Walmart. It's very cheap. It's actually a dog food. The first ingredient is beef. The second one is beef lung, then beef liver, then beef kidney. So it's a lot of freeze-dried meat here. This food is much cheaper, and so I use this one for just whatever, right? Like, it's like your kibble. I don't feel bad just throwing it to them. The thing is if I want to create more value with this treat, we turn it into a game. So that's when we make those like prey sounds. So the high pitch sounds that I make, and that helps trigger the prey drive, and then we move it like prey, right? Low to the ground in circles, and I go, and she gets really excited about it. Good girl. Denali less so. We can get her excited a little bit more than that, but she's a lot lower drive. I think that's everything. Good? What do you think, love?
Did you go over this lead? Did you want to go over that one?
I don't think I really need to. This is just a long lead that, as you have seen me use, I use this for tracking with Griz. What makes this lead good, it's 30 feet long, which that's not what makes it good. It rolls up nice and tight. There's no handle here, right? So if I drop this lead in the material, you can feel it with your fingers, it slides real easy. So the reason for this is so that when you're going and it's getting on the rocks, it's a lot less likely to get hung up. So, like if you had a long leather lead, for example, you're a lot more likely to find a spot where this cinches up, right? So this one is for tracking, and it's only for tracking. And I have found with Griz, if I try to track her with no leash, she will go to air scent every time and won't even look for a trail. She'll just go air scenting until she finds whatever she's looking for. If you put a lead on her, even something this ridiculously long and it stays loose, she will track or trail. She'll stay on the ground. She won't go to air scent.
Because it goes underneath her belly, so it keeps her neck low to the ground, hence her nose low to the ground.
It's also just an indicator to her. So like, if I go out there and walk out in the field and hide a toy, if I don't put this on her, she thinks, oh, I'm just gonna go run around and look for this toy. And she'll just run in circles until she hits the scent cone of the toy. But if I put this on her, she knows I'm not gonna let her do that. So even though it's really long, she won't even try. And she'll look for the trail as soon as I let her have it. And you can give her a little bits of corrections with like tightening the pressure so that she sees the article and doesn't go over it and stuff like that. But that's it. That's all of our gear.